here we go. There we are. Let me share my screen. So now we are set up. Need this here and ready to go. All you people, how is everyone doing? Are you all doing fine? I sure hope so. Now, just need to cough really quick. All right. Yes, Sandra. I was expecting this picture. I was for sure expecting it. This isn't from the AMA. All right. So today, little fundamental AMA. The name hunt was was quite entertaining. I can tell you for Project X. Binetzi got a very good guess there. As we said before, we can't confirm anything or deny anything now, I guess. But it was a very, very entertaining hunt, at least for us. So in the background, of course, we are working on the idea. And of course, I think over the course of the week, we will be able to drop a lot of details about Project X, I will still call it this way, in the upcoming week. Also, since I ran into some issues with my schedule over the weekend, we will have the buyback and burn poll, and I will provide a summary of why are we launching Project X, right? Because I can totally understand it, listening into hours and hours of AMA, just to understand why we are doing this Project X is quite hard, right? All right, some little updates. Blaine, sure hope to see you in here. Didn't forget you. As I said, I was just running into some schedule issues. We will work together, if it's okay for you, we will work together for the NFT artist sponsorship this week. As soon as I have a time in my schedule, I will message you regarding it. All right. Perfect. Seems like we covered everything important initially. No, thank you, Blaine. Thank you. Very, very nice input. Wasn't able to work on it actually. Was running very, very short on time, but we will definitely do this sponsorship kind of thing. Just need to like figure out the details and everything, and I think you are like the best person to talk to actually, because you are obviously very deep into the whole NFT scene. So this will work rather good there. Sorry, need to cough again. Okay, should be better now. Got a very, very, how do you call it? I don't know if you could say it as an itchy feeling in my mouth, kind of, and I need to cough like all the time. Okay, so as said, more details will drip in over Project X over the course of this week. And also like quick summaries and everything. Why are we doing this? Why are we heading down this road? Obviously, because of the roof fund idea we have as BD Capital. So basically BD Capital Fund will work as a roof fund in which we will use as a main shareholder, for example, for Project X. I saw in the chat already, Project X would be also a nice name. Yes, but there is already a project out there with this name. So might have been a nice name. But then again, sadly, can't use this name, even if we would like it. We dropped the uncensored logo somewhere in the chat. All right, it's not pinned, but we dropped the logo in the chat. Already saw the people, they like the people which saw it, they liked the logo. So this is what you can expect for Project X logo, at least. Just let me, no, it's not pinned. Not in the pins here. And there's too much of this /fish stuff for me to find the logo. Okay, let me, nah. I will drop it in again, in case you missed it. The uncensored logo, because I can, wait a second, I can do it this way. Unless they deleted it again. Here it is. I can. I know that I was a griffin, yes. So for the people who missed it, I'll just drop it in again. As you know us, it is a very, yeah, you could say simplistic logo, but with a whole different style attached to it. And like the team behind Beast, we love the logo. Like honestly, it's a very, very nice looking logo. And this is what we will roll with in Project X. This GIF. All right. Do we have any questions before we start into the there, Chris also found. Before we start into the fundamental part of the AMA today, something which is not clear for you, or something which is like an open question. I saw in the chat regarding development and everything, and also the thing dropped in, I don't know who it was, if it is easier or to actually gain, let's say for example, a 10x or 100x with a new ICO. Just my quick thoughts about it. You will not always, but many times see, if you partake in a pre-sale of a decent project, you will see some initial, sometimes bigger gains, sometimes smaller gains, right? Usually they range between, depends on the actual hard cap and the actual MC the project starts with, but normally you would see a increase of 2x to, let's say, upwards to 10x, right? Sometimes it will even go like ballistic, as for example with the Sand launch. So Sand is the metaverse on Ethereum, a very, very big one. I think they did an initial 150x right at launch. But this is very, very unusual, right? You see this mainly by the people who are, yeah, let's just say early gamblers, right? So a lot of people try to flip, for example, pre-sales. And this is also the reason why you see a lot of pre-salers, for example, selling right after launch or right after the first gains at launch. They basically always, let's say, save their 1.5, 2x, 3x, something in this range, and then they will sell off immediately to secure the gains. This is what a lot of people are doing. Then there's the other option as well. So with a CoinMarketCap and Coingecko listing, you will see, like usually, not always, but usually, a volume search coming in. Especially there are, you could say, insider alert groups out there which will tell the people ahead of a possible CMC listing, of this CMC listing, right? Sometimes this works, sometimes this doesn't. So if a project actually lists on CMC, most of the time a lot of, let's say, I would call them flippers, will hop on this particular project. Now in our case, what we can, where is it? There it is, give me a second. If we take a look here. And now let me just zoom in, right? Because ignore this very, very big one we had here. Here it is. So right after launch, as you saw here, as we said before, like many times, we did launch with a market cap of roughly 80,000. We had, you could say, quite a lot of buy pressure coming in, at least for the scale of the project back then. And as you can see, it was quite a good increase we did hit here, right? I think the top here was around the range of 400,000 market cap. Yeah, somewhere in this range, 350, 400,000 market cap. And as you can see, this is what hits like basically any early project right after launch. With the first gains being made, you will see people getting out of it and securing profit. Here taking us down over the course of some days, like basically nearly or very, very near to pre-sale level it was. Then we had the people buying in again, we had people trading off again, and this was like a process over like a couple of days, few weeks, right? No CMC listing, no CoinGecko listing. So basically, this very early traders, they joined in here. Now, then we had again this first one. This was basically done a lot through Reddit and other marketing, which was running in parallel. And then this really took off, right? We had another gain dropping in here. And let me see if I find it. Yes, it must have been somewhere around here. And here, roughly at the half of this one, CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap listed us, right? CoinGecko was somewhere here, brought a little bit of volume in, and then CoinMarketCap followed. But this was an untracked listing back then, so it was like worth nothing back at the time. And you saw this one happening here, and then basically just the same thing appearing again, sideways movement, people selling off, people taking profits, the usual thing happening. And then somehow we did hit this very, very big surge here, right? Which did lead in the end, if you take the pre-sale price, to a 150x. So you won't see this a lot of times in crypto. So this doesn't mean that if you invest into a project or in a pre-sale, that you can always expect a 100x or 150x. This is way too high expectations. But then again, of course, it is able to hit it. Is it now meant to be that, for example, BD Capital after this big gain, and then the sell-off which we see here, and then hitting this very, very hard market, right? This is a very rough market in which we are sitting right now. So basically, no, this doesn't mean anything. Right, doesn't mean anything, nothing to be worried about. This is the phase in which you consolidate after a big price increase, especially after a price increase of 150x. This is a lot of people made life-changing money there with us. And now is the time, especially in a rough market, to just hold the flag up, keep up the development, and then progress as a business, as a project over time, right? This is the stage we are sitting in right now. Let me just pull out a random chart here. Here, can take a look here. So, also a rather early project here. As you can see, launched, I think for them it was right after launch. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was like a 40x, 50x, something like this. If I remember correctly, they launched with a market cap around 1 million meter roughly, but I'm not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they did hit a pretty high all-time high as well. People took profits again. Then they got the early hype here in with them, months or weeks old, but still. They are also sitting in a very rough market condition. They did list on multiple exchanges as well. But then again, as you can see, in this very hard market, it is very, very tough to create buy pressure. And this is something you will see most of the times. The early hype, then the people selling off, hitting a correction and consolidation phase. Here again, an attempt of growth here, But well, people, let's say, in crypto are just very, very impatient and take immediately profits, or maybe these are pre-salers. Yeah, you never know in this case here. But then again, also right now, struggling in this market, right? We can take a look at multiple charts. Let me just pull out another, like a random one. Maybe one that is sitting in the fund. Ah, yes, I know. Might be a good one to look at. Now, let me. So, let's see here. Evergrow coin might be a name for most of the people. As you can see, they did launch like way earlier. I think it was back in November there for Evergrow coin. They did hit a very high market cap of 1 billion. It was. But then again, as you can see in this market stage, and of course also in their project, development is going on, right? But you can see this downtrend happening, right? This doesn't mean Evergrow coin is dead. I see these comments a lot. If you sit around or talk to people, hey, this is dead as well, and people are not buying. Yeah, the market is very, very rough at the moment. And this is what you will face most of the times if you take a look at a project at the moment, right? This downwards trend, at least if you take a very short time period in consideration, right? This doesn't mean anything is dead or project is done or something else like that. A lot of devs abandon projects in such stages because they are also in for, let's say, the quick money also. Just trying to land a big hit. But then again, this is the stage in which you need to develop, you need to progress as a project, you need to bring value in, you need to bring utility in. And then with the next run up, right, with the next big volume surge coming in overall in the market, then is the time to tackle it again and to try to get the people in. But I can tell you right now, even Evergrow coin, I don't know when exactly, but it was somewhere, let's say in this rough time frame. They did list on a new exchange as well. As you can see, not a lot of movement, even with a exchange listing, right? Which brings a lot of exposure there. This is just, you need to face it the way it is. Just the market as it is at the moment. It is very, very, very tough. Very tough. Let's pull out another random chart, or not random. Say, for example, another investment of us. But this is a bad chart to look at, honestly, because it doesn't show the full time frame, but only the migration. All right, this looks very weird. But then again, you see this chart here. Moonrock did migrate to Ethereum, from BSC to Ethereum, and this is now the Ethereum chart. As you can see, they migrated here. It was a market cap of roughly 10 million, if I remember correctly, which they migrated with. And then, of course, also for them, like, it's not only BSC, or let's say a lot of BSC people are, of course, or let's say mainly BSC people are in this project still, but it's not only the BSC chain, it's also affecting other chains as well, right? So with this, as for example with Ethereum, as you can see, coming from 10 million after the migration, now they're hitting, or not hitting, but sitting at roughly 5 million. This doesn't mean Moonrock is dead. This doesn't mean the migration was a fail or anything. They are also developing in the background, right? They are trying to add value to the project, keeping up the development work and everything. And this is the normal thing you will most of the times see. Now give me a second. I will let me pull out this one. Can I even access this one? this is a weird chart to look at, honestly. Nah, I can't find the correct chart, but doesn't matter anyways. This is the market we are sitting on, right? And if you take a look at other markets, stocks, or other things going on in the world, you see mainly the same thing at the moment, right? Not a lot of volume overall from the buying side dripping in. It's just the way it is. We need to get through this market stages. Also, something I can tell you, since our launch in December, we never saw a real bull market for altcoin. This is also something very important here, right? We never saw a bull market for altcoin. Last real bull market is a couple of months back. But then again, we never saw a real bull market. But this is something which you need to prepare as a project as well, right? And this is something we could take a look at. Let me see if I can find a good looking chart there, that quick. All right. So let's take a look at this one. Very big one, right? Very big one. This is Shiba. I think Shiba is a name for everyone out there. But then again, if you take a look at the chart, this is just like the very early stuff. Don't even bother with this one. But then they had a big spike here, right? They had a very big spike, and then they did face a sell-off, a consolidating stage. Did this mean Shiba was dead or anything like that? Nah, not at all. Progress in Shiba Inu itself was going on. They had Shiba Swap and everything releasing. So a lot which was still coming. A lot of people already lost faith in Shiba Inu, right? Because of the consolidation, because they said, no one is buying, etc. pp. Yeah, this is the way it is. If the market is not in the overall stage to do so, you will see charts like this. And this is a normal, healthy chart, right? Then they saw this very big volume surge again. This was back in October, November here. It's very big surge here happening, right? Hitting a very high, all-time high, and then again, sell-off happening. Now we're sitting in this very bad market. If people only took a look at like this small time frame back there, they would say, oh, Shiba is on a downwards trend. It is dying basically, right? This is what you face in charts and everything. You cannot always have this constant buys happening. This is also very dependent on market situations, not only for big projects, but also for small projects, right? Just something to keep in your mind. And then I can tell you again, a lot of people made a lot of money with Shiba, especially early investors. And of course, a lot of people took a lot of profit there as well. This is something which is no secret at all. But just as a comparison, right, there is like very few charts out there which performed very good since, or in one go, right, being out there a couple of weeks and months already. Like, I would say, without even looking it up or anything, right now 95% of the charts are looking rather not bad, but the same way, kind of the same way, right? And this also doesn't mean if BNB, like, because right now, let's say BNB is sitting at $387, right? BNB itself was dragging us down as well again, or let's say the entire space. It doesn't mean if BNB rises 10%, now we are sitting in a bull market, now are the gains coming back? Doesn't mean this. Also, BNB is sitting at a, you could say, consolidation stage at the moment. Also for Bitcoin, just jumping up and down between the certain levels, like resistance levels and everything. This is just the way it is at the moment, honestly. And the war, for example, in Ukraine, it didn't help. Of course, it didn't help with the overall market stage, right? This is just one of the problems we are facing. How do you think we could fare out in a typical extended bear market where alts tank for 6 to 18 months? How do you mean this in regards of what we could do, for example, as a project to, let's say, for example, get not hit like super hard, bringing us down to pre-sale level or something like this? Or how do you mean it? I could just drop something in at this stage as well, because some people also ask me, hey, so for an extended, let's say, bear market where alts tank for 6 to 18 months, I suppose, do you think we would be okay? Yes, I think so. We have a lot of people which are in it long term, and I mean not crypto long term, but long term, right? Because crypto long term for the BEC space is like 2 weeks, honestly. After 2 weeks, they say, "Oh, I was in there already so long." I'm just joking around, but a lot of people who are aware of the market, right? We need to sit it out, right? We need to try different steps, for example, for the fund, which enable us to pump the fund up, to bring distribution to the people and everything. This will help tremendously. Is there a way to predict if a bull market is coming? No. Honestly, no. There are a lot of people out there which are claiming, hey, I know it. I did get it right like 3 times already or 5 times already. Like, honestly, if someone would be able to predict it like 100%, then he would be like filthy rich. You'll know it when you're in it. Yes. Like most of the times you will see like the blue chips going for a big run, and then shortly after the altcoin market going for a very big one. And I would say a big one in a bull run, for example, in which people just throw their money at every single project out there. Right now, it is not this way, right? In a real bull market, this is where you see the call channels shining, right? Because they call something, and like everyone is just jumping on it because they think, yeah, now I get rich quick, right? This is when you see this kind of stuff working. I can tell you, if you use a call channel right now, it won't affect us at all. Maybe a small amount of buy strips in, yes, maybe. But these are people which will sell off also after a midterm hold, which is spoken in crypto like 1 week, right? For people which are following such call channels. This is when the real bull market is there. If you use a call channel and the call channel itself is 10xing the project. But right now, is it working? Not working. We tried a lot, from Twitter influencers to call channels and all kind of different stuff. You won't see a lot of impact coming from them at the moment. You can also watch other projects which are using them, right? Talk to a lot of devs out there, but it is just the way it is at the moment. People are not willing to put it out. And I can tell you, a lot of people converted, let's say, for example, projects into USDT or BUSD or whatever stablecoin out there. And they're just sitting on, yeah, you could say fiat. They're just sitting on fiat. Same for the stock market. A lot of people are liquidating stocks and else and just sitting on fiat because they are scared right now. But then again, this is like this saying, right? You get like really rich and wealthy in such markets because they bring opportunity, right? They bring opportunity to investing various projects out there, various cryptos, various stocks on a discount, right? On a real discount. I can show you something. Let's just take a look here. Can we take a look at it this way? All right. We open it. Cannot open it. Ah, okay, never mind. Okay, coming back to the topic. But honestly, like, the biggest fear you could have, let's say as an investor, is that the team running the project is abandoning the project. This happens a lot of times, right? In which the dev team just says, all right, we are done. Just sell off now. We won't do anything anymore there in the project, right? This is the worst thing you could face in such a market, because then at this stage the project is certainly dead, like really dead. Can show you. I can't. Okay, it's even untracked. Okay, I wanted to show you a chart of a dead project, but you know dead projects, right? Not a rug pull, but basically in which the team says, all right, we are done. We don't want to do it anymore, or we can't do it anymore, or we think the project is done. This happens a lot, because also dev teams are sometimes, you could say, jumpers, right? They're just launching project after project and just hoping for the big hit there. And if it doesn't work out, they don't want to deal with it not working out. You see this many, many times out there in the crypto space. This is something which you do not need to be feared of, right? It doesn't matter even if we hit, let's say worst case scenario, $80,000 market cap, right? Even if we would hit this one, we would not run as a team, right? We would not run. We would still have the fund. It would be way slower, of course, but then again, we would still be there and working on everything. Way too much time, way too much money invested already from our side. We would never run from it, can tell you. Just to to take away like this fear. Now what we are doing right now with Project X is just for the roof fund, right? This doesn't mean that we will abandon BD Capital or something, or BD Capital will run short on our time. No, it's completely separate, right? Completely separate. But then again, in a, you could say, partnership there, because BD Capital, the fund of BD Capital, is one of the main shareholders there of Project X. So, but I will post an explanation of why are we doing things this way, and why are we trying to set it up this way, right? Because this is a way to bring excitement back, to bring exposure for BD Capital itself. As you all might be aware already, this is running on a different chain, so we are targeting also sometimes different type of investors, because I can tell you a lot of investors stay away from BSC completely. They don't want to touch it at all. Some investors don't want to touch Ethereum at all because of the gas fees. And this is something which is just a chain thing going on sometimes, right? And it will have a very, very different structure, like the idea with the sub fund and everything, of course, is kind of same, but then the organization and everything around it is completely different. If it hits 80k again by 20 trillion, honestly, I don't think it will happen, because this would mean a lot of people which are in it, which I definitely know won't sell, right? That they would sell. So no. Won't happen. Won't happen with the 80k. But then if it hits 80k, right, then it's very, very easy to obtain very, very big chunks. Yeah, But this is just the way it goes, right? Also something which you need to keep in mind, especially with Project X coming up. Let's say, for example, this is a success with Project X, right? This boosts our fund. This brings in a lot of passive income for the fund. Project X is doing well by itself. And we are able to distribute yield. Now, this sounds like maybe wrong coming from the dev and everything, right? But then again, the less holders we have in banks, the more money for every single holder holding it actually with the distributions, right? So if this roof fund idea works out, and if this works out, of course, we can then use it and apply it to project Y or whatever, right? Then we can adapt this concept of the roof fund. And it doesn't matter if we have 10 holders, 100 holders, 1,000 holders, but the less holders we have in BD Capital, the more money for everyone in it, right? Don't forget this, because our fund is completely independent of our token. It just comes down to the actual number of or amount of tokens you are holding. How does BD Capital receive yield from Project X? A simple way. Also, Project X will be generating a form of passive income. Otherwise, we wouldn't hold it in our fund. And BD Capital will be one of the main shareholders for Project X. Can't put out any numbers yet. Will range most likely between the 5% and 10% mark, since the fund is not selling off, especially from Project X. And with this, wait a second, vested from the beginning. What do you mean with vested, Chris? Yes, Blaine, basically 5 to 10% of all yields, depending on how this payout works, right? Because there, again, also for Project X, we are not looking for anything short-term there. As you might know us as core dev team already, we are also working towards something which is sustainable in the long run. And also Project X is something which we would never abandon or anything like that, right? We will always progress in it, work on it, and try to take the best out of it. Is it a minor This is a very concrete question, but no, Chris. As far as a holder from the start, what I'm saying is BD is not buying. Yes, yeah, exactly. So BD Capital is not buying in Project X. Don't get us wrong there. We use our knowledge, we use our time, like mainly our time, to set it up and to bring it to a success, right? Our fund is receiving, you could think of a team vesting there. So no financial risk, as Chris says in the chat, for the BD fund. But then again, of course, participating in the yield or in the rewards or whatever is generated by Project X. But as I can tell you, it's very exciting. The structure in Project X, very exciting. Gets me excited to work on it. Will be something good as well. So yes, Blaine, basically. If BD becomes fairly big and our fund pays out regularly and good money, then other projects could become sustainable-ish by reflecting bank's token and given said token holders another stream of income. Exactly. This is like a stage which, but you need to work for it, right? Just keep in mind, we came from a 80 cap pre-sale, 80,000 market cap pre-sale, and you need to build up everything over the course of the time. Sometimes your chart will be looking very nice, sometimes your chart will be looking not so nice maybe, but this is something which you need to face in crypto, in stocks. Yeah, doesn't matter what you're talking about. The core thing is that we are working on the idea, and I can tell you we will keep BD Capital as itself, especially with the fund, because this is a very powerful idea, especially with the roof fund concept, right? Just imagine now You have the roof fund and you're participating in, let's say, 4 projects out there, right, as the main shareholder, which are working, like working projects, right? Then you have your normal investments as well going on, because this won't stop. Not with the roof fund, right? Our core thing won't stop at all. And at some point, the fund will hit pretty big sizes by itself. And this is where it gets very, very exciting, right? But this takes time. I can tell you, this takes time. But then again, the core idea is very, very, very powerful, especially for crypto. All right. We just used all of our time for this talks and not for the fundamentals, but I guess this is like totally fine for everyone in here. All right. This is something quite some people in. But this will be very interesting, right? And as you know us as a core team as well. So like from the security side, Project X, we are thinking everything through. So no one is facing a risk of a, let's say, rug pull or anything, right? This is like the core concept behind what we are trying to build here. Will Project X invest in miners? Maybe, kind of, sort of. Can tell you the sub fund for Project X is built in a very, very interesting way. Very interesting way. Also in a way which enables us to put out the yield a lot faster, right? 1 second. Yes, Jake. Something I didn't talk about yet, right? Crowdfund private sale platform. Yes. Working on it with the dev team. Having a meeting later with Vimal as well, so we can take a look again. Like faced minor issues, but this shouldn't hold us back like a lot, right? So we should be able to hit it in a let's say acceptable time frame. But yes, of course, this is normal going on normally. We should also receive the first update, which already like places crowd sale, private sale, and charity part in the dashboard itself. I think maybe charity is already usable then, to actually list charities, and every other flaw in the dashboard should be fixed as well. So yes, it's looking very good for the development part there. Just keep in mind, this is not something which is done like overnight, but it's looking very, very good there. Thanks for the gem. Yeah, it will be very. And as we said before, right? BD Capital doesn't stop by itself. Private sale, crowd sale, like the first step to the launchpad itself, is coming in. It's getting worked on to set everything up, and then we are also able to tackle this side of crypto, which is very exciting by itself, right? Will be very interesting. Will be very interesting. The near future. But then again, don't be scared of such market conditions. Something I don't want, I like stress out enough. Don't be scared, you know us, we won't abandon the project. And people ran from us like, oh, wait, let me close this one. I want to look at Shiba chart like all the time. Where is it? Now I lost our own chart again. Give me a second. Here. Here it is. So now zoom not out but in. I can tell you in this stage, right? A lot of people lost faith in us. I can tell you. Otherwise we wouldn't have dipped down, let's say for example, to pre-sale level and everything, or near pre-sale level even multiple times, right? A lot of people lost faith here in BDCap, or back then Banker Stream itself. But this was just the way it is. We had our early run up. CMC was causing us problems. Coingecko was causing us problems. And this was what the people were like mainly looking for, right? A lot of people. CoinMarketCap listing, Coingecko listing and everything. And we lost a lot of people during this process. We did even like right before here, let's say for at this stage here, which very, very little movement happened, like very little movement. We had like a completely inactive chat, right? And some people joined in. Dale, Harry, they got very hard on Reddit. And this is like the ignition which was needed. This did lead to the first runner-up and everything. And I can tell you nothing happened here from the development side or news or announcements or calls or whatever you would say. Nothing happened here that changed something in the fundamentals, right? Nothing happened. This is very important. This was basically happening because the main sell pressure was gone. We didn't have a lot of sell pressure here afterwards, as you can see. And then slowly the buys stacked up and led to, you would call it normally FOMO, right? This is what people call it in crypto. And then again, people took profit. Very, very big red candles, right? With big sells dropping in. And something like this, and then again at some point reached it again, right? Nothing changed here, like literally nothing. There was no $100,000 marketing campaign which leads to a 100x or something like this. Didn't happen. This is just patience, right? By investing into things, you also need to bring patience in. Very important here, especially in crypto, right? Especially since crypto is very, very fast paced and everything, or people tend to believe it's very fast paced. When, let's say, the mother of all cryptos, when Bitcoin came up, right? It was worth couple, let's say just couple cents and everything. And yeah, I would say patience pays out, even in crypto, right? I mean, it's very hard. I can tell you, especially for something like Bitcoin with very high up and downs and all that stuff happening. You can get very emotional while doing it. But right? Patience is key. You and AJ coming out to face the music is a very good thing. It instills confidence in the community. Personally have been here from the beginning and look forward to our goals being achieved. Keep up the good work. Yes, thank you for the nice words. Nice words. Yes, remember, remember it, right? I can tell you, I remember like every single early person, every single one. Some left us already. A lot are still here, which is very amazing to have a lot of people still here from the early stage, and very nice to have. Double Down Colorado got a run, but thanks for the chat. For long term is the way to look at this consolidation phase. Great load up zone. Yeah, exactly. But you will always face such stages, such phases. This is just natural for a chart. And for us, I can tell you, it is healthy, right? It is very healthy for us. Sounds bad now, but then again, coming back to the liquidity, our liquidity is looking super healthy for for our market cap at the moment. And this is something which we didn't have. So back at this point here, at the all-time high, 12.5 million, we did have a very, very critical liquidity. A very critical liquidity back then. A liquidity which already made the team very nervous, right? Because it was very exciting to have this very big run up and everything. But again, the liquidity itself was looking very critical by itself. And a lot of people noticed it as well, right? This is something which you do not want to have. The more liquidity, the better. I bought that top tough, very tough plane. But you're still here, right? This is what you are making right. It hurts if you think back of it. You bought a top, but then again, you're still here, and this is what you are doing right. 1 second. All right. Yeah, I can tell you, people reached out to us at the around the all-time high. Liquidity is looking bad and everything, and we said, yeah, we can't change it, right? We cannot change our liquidity. You need a rather large correction to make the liquidity healthy again. But now, liquidity is looking superb, very, very fine from the liquidity side. This is something which we can work on, definitely. And this is also very important, right? Very, very important. All right. Is there something which someone wants to add? Can you not adjust liquid tax? Yes, we can. We can, definitely, but it won't have direct impact, right? This is always the thing, especially with liquidity tax or something like this, won't have direct impact. And especially if you're facing a very, very, very low liquidity, you are not able to fix it without a big correction. So not that we can influence something like this. Of course, the chart can just run up and up and up and up all the time, right? But having this, especially very early on, with this very big increase, is always very, very critical for the liquidity. Very critical. Because the main problem you will face with a very low liquidity, just let me get a little bit into this one before we end our call today. The main problem you face, that the gains, especially of people which bought in earlier, right? The gains they make with their token holdings, they are not fitting into the liquidity which is gained throughout this whole buy process. So there is the BNB dropping into the liquidity itself. They cannot catch up with the actual gains being made. So we had people sitting at a value, at a theoretical value of 1 million at the all-time high, right? We had a holder which was sitting at 1 million in total holdings. But he would never have a chance to actually pull out the 1 million. It was just the value with the market cap and everything, because we never had 1 million in the liquidity. And this is the very, very critical stage you face then. Very critical. Because if let's say, set holder decided to pull out in one go, which is not possible, then again, because of the price impact. But if he decided to actually start selling, he would have been able to bring us down like in one go, right? And this is something which is not healthy at all and very critical as a stage of a project. And this is the main problem you face, right? Because the impact on the chart is very, very big with low liquidity. So if you see the liquidity increasing, you will see the actual chart movement being smaller and smaller over time with the same buys happening, right? But this is still way better to have it this way, right? Would rather have a healthy liquidity and a harder time to move the chart than a very, very low liquidity and very, very big impact of buys and sells. All right. So, something else. Nah, nothing else. Can leave it this way. BD dashboard page. Can just take a look at it. No. This is something which might appear sometimes, mainly because of the work they are doing at the moment. I was checking in Pancake that if I would like to sell all my banks an all-time high, it showed a 60% price. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't worry, Lucas. They will bring it back up, right? Just sometimes you hit the stages. It could also be a hosting issue, for example, server side. But this is always getting fixed, like as soon as possible. Exactly, Daniel. This is something which you have with a very low liquidity, right? The price impact and everything is just too big, and this is the main problem. Yes, AJ. Okay, it's on point now. All right. If there's any question, any other thing coming in, just let me know. Otherwise, I would say big thank you for the people joining in. And we will hear each other again tomorrow, right? And as always, yeah, I tend to be late to meetings and stuff like that because I'm just sitting in the AMA and forgetting about the time. All right, people, but thank you all. And we will hear each other again tomorrow. All right, people. Thank you and bye-bye.